I am recording.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 645th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. Recording 3 episodes in a weekend is a lot. Not that we don't have things to talk about. That's not the issue. Just a lot of upfront work. With me today is Hannah.
Yes, I'm now trying to think of exactly how many hours of the last 24 hours we're going to have spent talking. It's a lot. I'm here.
It is a lot.
It's good. It's fun. I'm here. Hi.
The secret is we never not have things to talk about. Literally in our show notes, we had 3 things that we were supposed to talk about the first 2 episodes we recorded. We have not gotten to them yet. Bobby also here.
Yeah. Well, we love to talk. So this format
about Pokemon. Especially about Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or how to cheat in Pokemon Sleep.
No.
Yeah. Cheating is I don't know. That's not a good term.
How to make sure you're getting your $10 worth in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just go through the news. There will be another segment on Pocket for sure. Again, we have not talked about a lot of Pocket, even though the last 2 episodes we've dedicated 40 minutes to Pocket and feel like we still haven't touched the surface. Let's start off with some fun news. This was published October 24th. Like I said, some of these articles, I was like, we'll talk about it eventually. Sometimes you move things around when like Shiny Rayquaza comes up and you're like, well, we got to talk about that this week. This is off NintendoWire.com. Vending machines in the wild. It looks like new vending machines are rolling out to grocery stores across 14 different states. So if you live in Arizona, California, Colorado, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, what? Kentucky's getting machines. Michigan, Kentucky they should get something. They don't get a lot. Nevada, Ohio, Oregon, is it Oregon?
Oregon.
I'm like questioning myself here.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
Utah, Texas, and Washington. They were already in Washington. That's kind of not fair.
Mm-hmm.
They were also already in Oregon.
Oh, were they?
Were they? Did you have one near you?
I've seen them around, not super close by.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I've seen people travel from California to Oregon in the past to buy, just to go like see the vending machines and buy from the vending machines for content.
They're saying that vending machines will be at Fry's, Food for Less, Vons, Ralph's. Now I understand why they're not in like Wisconsin or Minnesota, because we don't have any of these stores. Albertsons, Kroger, and a couple other. You can go to Pokemon's official website to search up the location near you. The vending machines contain TCG products like Elite Trainer Box, booster packs, and more. I've seen a couple. I don't think there's like anything unique in these machines.
No, they're kind of neat looking machines. They look kind of like mini Pokemon centers, kind of. But they're just vending machines with Pokemon cards inside. And for a second you said Fry's and I thought you meant the electronics store and I got really excited.
So
but
did
no,
I.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. I was really confused about that one.
I clicked on the article is correct. The article will be in the show notes. You can go to Pokemon support page and you can click. I clicked on Arizona. There is over 30 Fry's location in Arizona's that have vending machines. When I originally pinned this article, I was like, that probably means like Arizona, Kentucky, they get like 1 vending machine or something. Let's see how many Kentucky has 2, 4, 6 vending machines in all of Kentucky. At Kroger in Kentucky. That's a lot of vending machines they just like rolled out overnight to Kroger has like Georgia has like 50 of these vending machines.
I think they tested them in the Pacific Northwest area, and now they're rolling them out all across the country.
That's pretty insane. Like, like Pokemon cards just sit near the checkout in most stores.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, is that where your guys' cards are? Like, I go to Target normally, and
that's definitely where they are at Target.
Yeah, that's where they are at Target. Is
Target
near the checkout.
Typically right near the checkout stands. I haven't been to a Walmart in like 7 years, but Walmart was also near the checkout. Sometimes they were in the back by the toys, but like almost always my Walmarts were at checkout. Honestly, I've been to a few Walmarts to look for stuff over the last few years, and they never have anything at the Walmarts around me, so I wouldn't know where they.
I think I've been to a Walmart twice in my life. Maybe there are cards by the checkout.
If you're in Colorado, King's Supers, that's the store you're going to. There's like 50 locations. From Denver to Castle Rock to Aurora to Brighton to Bloomfield to Edgewater to Lakewood. There's so many machines they rolled out.
There's about 11, I want to say 11 or 12 throughout San Diego. Like,
you're not on the list. They don't got California. I see you. Never mind. You're California? On the list.
Yeah, there are about 6 different cities within the San Diego County that have vending machines that have popped up. So
you have 7 in San Diego.
7 just in the city of San Diego, but they're
either at Vaughn's or Albert's. Are these grocery stores?
Yes. So Vaughn's is Safeway, same as Safeway. Albertsons is actually owned by Kroger. So Albertsons, Ralph's, Kroger, that's all the same company. It's all the same.
They couldn't strike a deal with Target. They didn't strike a deal with Walmart. That's actually the crazy part.
I think all of these are grocery stores.
Yeah, I would guess so.
Because
what is the marketing tactic behind that? Like,
well, so for me specifically, I have a Ralph's that's like literally like a 3-minute walk from my house is a Ralph's that does not have a vending machine, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately. The closest one to me is a Vaughn's that's about a 5-7 minute drive from my house. But that is closer than the nearest Target that I would be going to get Pokemon cards at.
And there have clearly been a lot of issues, not necessarily more recently, but over the last 4 years, where keeping cards in secure areas because there were fights or thefts or things like that was becoming a bigger issue. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of the thinking of getting these into vending machines as well.
Yeah. I mean, like the core concept of seeing a Pokemon vending machine and feeling the need to buy
it's really exciting. They look really cool.
That's real. I was at the Pokemon headquarters in Bellevue, and they have vending machines inside their offices. They're not like any different than probably these. The only difference is those vending machines have employee pricing. So you save like, I don't know, the 10 to 20% employee discount. But like, I guess it makes sense why they wouldn't be in like a Target or a Walmart because they already have a card distributor stocking the shelves. And I'm sure grocery stores are probably lesser to work with than like a Target or a Walmart. Like,
well,
you're asking for a like I'm not an expert, maybe somebody is an expert, but I would assume that like putting a Pokemon vending machine would be the equivalent of putting like a Pepsi vending machine in a specific area. Like this area of the grocery store is vending machine area, and we have room for a vending machine, and there's no cards being sold in a grocery store, so let's make a deal to put this card vending machine in the grocery store.
Well, the grocery stores I've seen them in definitely were selling Pokemon cards before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I've like my grocery stores here in the Midwest is like Pick and Save, Cub Foods, Piggly Wiggly. Never seen Pokemon cards in any of those.
Interesting.
the Ralph's up the street from my house, it used to sell Pokemon cards, but only one set at a time. So, lately the latest ones that they had were like Silver Tempest, which are fairly old at this point.
Fairly old?
Yeah. But
it's like a legacy set at this point.
yeah. So they weren't selling much, but I would imagine that the Pokemon Company has distribution deals with those distributors that go to Target and Walmart. They might not be able to put the vending machines in those stores when they have the distribution deals with the distributors. So because now they're competing with the distributors that are buying from them, they might not have the ability to do that in those stores because of their contracts.
I also can't even remember. I don't even think Target has vending machines. Like, I feel like Walmart does. Like, when you get the shopping cart in that area, there's like a Dr. Thunder or like Mountain Crisp or whatever. like But yeah, I don't think any Midwest Target has a vending machine. They'll have the Starbucks inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is its own weird agreement, Starbucks.
Yeah,
Target
Starbucks or
get
CVS or something
way
like that.
More or something. Yeah, our Targets have CVS inside too.
Really?
Pharmacy.
Oh yeah.
So the pharmacy inside Target is not a Target pharmacy, it's a CVS pharmacy. In Minneapolis, at least, when I was in Wisconsin, that was a Target pharmacy.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really weird.
I guess I've never gone to the pharmacy in my Target, so I have no idea.
We also have two Targets also in Minneapolis that are Walgreens size Targets, where they're mostly pharmacy stuff.
Oh.
And they have one aisle of electronics and one aisle of clothing.
Yeah.
But it's mostly pharmacy and some food, but it feels like you're in a Walgreens, except it's Target.
Is it called a Target Express?
No, it's just called. I think at one point it might have been called the Target Express.
Okay.
Because I think they were well, I don't know if people know this, but Target is from Minneapolis. That's where the headquarters is. So they'll do a lot of trials. We have Super Targets.
We have
where
super
it will say
Targets
Super Target
as well.
Or Super Target, very large Target.
It's a Target with a bigger grocery section.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They don't call them Super Targets out here, but we have Targets that are 2 floors that it's just whole there's a whole grocery area, and then the Target is 2 floors, and then we have them that just to have a grocery section, and we have Targets that have an alcohol section that is separate. It's an actual the whole one part is walking into a liquor store, but it's Target.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
we have one Target that's like that,
but they don't name them. They're not named anything different. They're just Target.
Yeah, I think they were trying to compete with Walgreens and CVS at one point with the smaller Targets, and then it didn't work here, so I don't think they tried it anywhere else.
Definitely, there is one Target called Target Express that is in one of the neighborhoods. It's a very small Target.
Yeah, there are definitely a couple of small Targets that I've seen.
That's crazy. Yeah, nothing in my area is Target Express. Again, it might have been called Target Express 4 or 5 years ago.
And how many of these have Pokemon cards?
The small Targets do have Pokemon cards. None of these have vending machines. I think the problem with America is we don't have enough vending machines.
Honestly, I might agree. But not the problem, but a problem.
The only problem in America nowadays is not enough. This is what I'll run my political campaign on. We need more vending machines in this country. It'll fix everything.
When you go to Japan, the vending machines are so good. They're so good, especially in the winter or anytime it's cold and you want something warm and they have warm things in vending machines. You just don't find that here.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit of a bummer. But
now you have Pokemon cards in your vending machines.
We have a lot of Pokemon vending machines existing. I didn't think about the theft conversation. That was interesting that you brought that up because, if I told my Labubu story, right?
Yes.
And there's like so many pop marts in the United States. Actually, there was one in Bellevue when I was in Bellevue, and I was like, oh, there's a pop store here. There is a pop vending machine in Minneapolis, and every time I go to it, it's just always sold out. Like they're supposed to have Labubu, but it's always sold out. But I suppose like there's a pro and con of that, right? Like the pro is you just can't have somebody run up and like grab the whole shelf, or you don't need to like queue people for that, right? Like you don't have the Pokemon fist fights that were happening when you put out Silver Tempest. Yep. No one was fist fighting over Silver Tempest. I'll tell you that. But the other problem is you don't know when it's restocked, and if somebody goes to the vending machine and they just want everything, they're just going to sit there and order everything out of the machine.
Yeah, but that's not a problem unique to the vending machine. And honestly, I much prefer the vending machine to a shelf that is completely locked up with a key that you have to go and ask someone to unlock.
No, I agree. I wonder if vending machine technology is smart enough to be like, you can only use your card. Yeah, like you can only use your card here like twice. So you could use another card.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would be, but that's...
But what do they care? Just like they want to sell the product.
There don't seem to be limits on the vending machines from what I've seen. Like, and you don't have to buy one product at a time. You add to a cart and then you pay for it all at once, and then it distributes each item one at a time. But it's not like you have to buy something, get it, buy something else, get it. You can like add it all to a cart, and then it does it all at once.
These are smart vending machines.
Yeah, but
they have a big, huge screen on the front.
I mean, Target has limits still. Like there are limits to buying.
My Target still has limits for
only
Pokemon.
They don't seem to be limits on Pokemon product anymore, at least at the Target I just went to and bought Pokemon product at. There didn't seem to be a limit there, but there were limits on other sets of trading cards that are more popular right now, or that are it's just more popular, I guess. But there are definitely still limits, and I don't know if they would do that with the vending machines. I think prismatic evolutions will be a great test to see if they do limits, because I do think that will be a very popular set. And if I can just go down the street to the vending machine and they're just constantly stocked with prismatic evolutions, that'd be great. But I don't know how often they're like restocking those things either, or how much is in there.
Yeah, I mean, like there's like a hidden big business behind that, right? They would have had to hire a company to make all of these vending machines, and then ideally Pokemon has to hire people to then restock these vending machines, and ideally they're printing more product to put into these vending machines. Again, before I really pulled up this article, I was like, like 2 vending machines per state or something, because that's how it always was when I originally a couple years ago went to Seattle and I met up with my friend Steele. She was like, there's like 3 vending machines in the state, let's go visit one. And I was like, yeah, let's go like make an evening out of that. And then you look and you're like, Kentucky has like 30 of them. And like, that's crazy. Like that didn't exist. Like, well, Kentucky doesn't have 30. They have like 8. But that like,
I'm telling you
didn't exist like 5 years ago.
In the county of San Diego, which covers about, I don't know, if I could go like 40 miles north of where I live, and I'm still in the county of San Diego. There's multiple cities within the county of San Diego. I think there's like 13 or 14 locations that have vending machines within that span. So like, yeah, they're definitely.
Are they by the door, like after checkout?
Yeah,
the ones I've seen are
near the door, right near the door.
It's cool. Yeah. I don't think it's like a bad thing. More accessibility to Pokemon cards. More accessibility to get your kids addicted to cardboard.
Yeah.
And they're fun to see. I honestly love walking into one of the grocery stores with them and just seeing this big Pokemon machine. Even if I'm not buying anything from it, it's another one of those little, it's nice to see Pokemon in the wild like that.
And none of the ones near you, Bobby, have plushes?
Just cards, I believe.
Okay, because the one I was talking about in Seattle, it had like cards and plushes, but I think those are technically like Pokemon Center machines.
I think these are too though. These aren't other distributors. Like these are coming directly from the Pokemon company.
Right. But I feel like everything now is just pure TCG, whereas like the original ones in Washington were like half TCG, half plushes. I mean, there's like different vending machines in Japan too. Like there's one at the airport where it's like exclusive airport merchandise that you can only get there. They have them in Korea too. I didn't talk about this, but they have Pokemon card vending machines in Korea, and it was like 1,000 won for a pack of cards, which their packs are also just like 5 cards, like Japan, or like TCG Pocket, 5 cards. And I opened a pack, and I was like, this quality of cardboard is so bad. It's terrible.
Oh, really?
So I ripped the card in half to check the inside. And I was like, I can't tell if this is fake or not because I don't have a real card to compare it to.
No.
It was a bad pack anyways. So I went into the store and I bought a booster box, which their booster boxes are really tiny. So it was only like $30 for 30 packs or whatever.
Yeah.
And I opened the booster box and then I ripped another card in half to like see the inside. That's how you tell if it's fake.
Yeah.
It's the inside of the card.
Yeah.
And they were the same. And it just made me realize how badly printed. I don't know what distributor they use to make Korean Pokemon cards, but they're terrible quality. They legitimately look fake. And I feel like a couple years ago, they were not this bad quality. The only reason I bring that up is 1, just to tell a story about ripping Pokemon cards in half. But 2, the Pokemon company in the United States did switch printers like 2 years ago. They bought a printing company. And I can't, I'll be the first to say, I don't think the quality got much better. Like, I think cards are still pretty off-centered. Bobby, you open more cards than I do.
Are they? I don't know. I feel like the quality has gotten slightly better over time.
You think?
I can't speak to like Korean cards or Japanese. I mean, Japanese cards are always, people always say those are the best quality are the Japanese cards. But
I agree. I do think Japanese, they just feel thicker too.
Well, they have, so like, do they have that? Do the Korean cards have that third layer? Because like when you rip an English card, you can tell because if it's fake or not because of the layers in the middle of the card, and there's like a third layer that isn't in fake cards, basically.
I mean, the Korean cards had the middle layer because it was like a blue color.
Yeah,
so you can see all 3 layers.
Right.
They just felt they felt thinner, and the print quality felt like more like somebody forgot to put it at like 300 DPI. Like somebody accidentally like kept it on 72 DPI when they went to go hit print.
What's interesting to me in that regard is take a card like the Umbreon from Evolving Skies. It's worth like $1,000 ungraded in English, and I think even more in Japanese. But you can buy the Korean version of that card for like $300. It's literally like a third of the cost of the English card. And that Umbreon isn't a playable card. People aren't buying that Umbreon because it's playable. They're buying that Umbreon to collect it. But it's like a third of the cost in Korean. And I wonder if it has to do with the quality. Because I've always wondered about that. Like, why not just buy it? Did you just rip a card?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I ripped just a common Pikachu from
a Pikachu? You ripped a Pikachu on a Pokemon podcast?
I was doing some ASMR. Yeah, so you can see the third layer, right? You have the top, you have like this gray layer, and then you have the back layer.
Yeah, a fake card doesn't have the black or the gray,
right? And the Korean cards had the inside layer was blue, like a bright blue, and that's where I was like, I definitely know English cards are not bright blue in the center,
right?
So that's why I had to go buy packs inside the store, because I was like, this could just be a fake vending machine. Like those exist. Like there are so many vending machines in Japan that are reselling open booster packs in like, but they try to make them look official, but it's like chance for Charizard EX full art rainbow rare, a 1 in 20 chance, and then it's just like America does this too, just not in vending machine form. I think we call them mystery boxes.
Mystery boxes, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I bought Korean cards, a bunch of Korean cards, like 2 or 3 years ago, and I felt like they had good quality. And now I don't know. Again, I don't know if they also changed distributors, but I was shocked the last time I was in Korea. I was like, oh, this something different here.
Maybe they switched printers or something, and they're just not as good quality now. I don't know. I don't know that I own any Korean Pokemon cards. Definitely own Japanese ones. Definitely own English ones, or but don't know that I have any Korean Pokemon cards.
Well, Indonesian Pokemon cards are also relatively new because they're doing a big push. I was in Indonesia too. I did not buy any Indonesian Pokemon cards. I actually,
you should have.
Yeah, I should have. I don't know why I didn't.
Oh, too busy.
This is very foolish of me. I could be ripping an Indonesia Pokemon card to see what's on the inside.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, instead, you ripped a Pikachu of all the cards you could have ripped open.
Look, I had a reverse hollow Deerling. I thought about that for a second. All right, let's. Speaking of Pokemon cards, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Pokemon Pocket. We will be right back. And we are back from our break. By the time it's been a couple days, maybe 10, 12 days since this news came out, and we're recording, so number could be different. Still think it's newsworthy, though. The official Pokemon Pocket Twitter tweeted that 30 million downloads worldwide of the game. It was pretty good. I don't have like Sleep, Unite, Masters. I don't think anyone thought this was going to be Pokemon Go, because Pokemon Go is probably, if I was to guess, Pokemon Go is probably like 50 million or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But 30 million downloads for the first week of the game, and then Polygon is reporting that Pokemon trading card game made $12 million already. Which is that more than Pokemon Sleep made in a year? I don't remember what our Pokemon Sleep news was. Was that like 10 million in a year?
Was it?
I don't remember.
I'm not seeing numbers for Pokemon Sleep, but I am seeing that they celebrated 20 million downloads for Pokemon Sleep.
In a year?
No.
I was like, geez, no one likes to sleep.
Actually, maybe in a year. Try to see. Yeah, actually, quite possibly.
Only 20 million in a year?
I think that might be what this says.
Huh. Well.
Yeah, released in July 2023, and this article on the Pokemon Sleep news website came out in June 2024. They were celebrating reaching 20 million downloads in almost a year.
Oh, okay.
So that's Pokemon Sleep.
All right.
I mean, good for 20 million in a year, but so Pocket just did that and did 30 million in
a week. Less than a week, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I had two friends who are only kind of very casual Pokemon players. Both of them sent me their TCG Pocket friend codes before I had even gotten the chance to download the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by these numbers.
Yeah, Pokemon cards. I don't know if anybody's been around for the last 4 years. Very popular. So yeah,
so the 12 million is reported by an analytics website. So the Pokemon company is not coming out and saying they made 12 million. They will probably at some point to their investors come out and say how much money they made, so their investors are happy. So I will say, like, take that number with like a grain of salt, because they're looking at trends and they're predicting how much money that this app made, and we all have learned in the last couple of weeks that predictions aren't actually accurate.
Okay, but business transaction type predictions are different in a lot of ways. But yeah, sure.
They are and they aren't.
They're not. They're never. Those numbers aren't typically way off from where they are. Like, I don't think Pokemon Company is going to come out in a few months with their quarterly numbers and be like, Pocket made 10 times less than like that number.
I was going to say the opposite. I was going to say that these numbers are probably conservative. I think they made more. I mean, like, they haven't gotten your money yet, Bobby. Well, once they do, once it triggers, next week Bobby's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm $200 deep."
I don't think so. But
Polygon is also saying that, for context, Pokemon Go generated 143 million in profit during 2016, which is the year they debuted.
Yeah,
and that was in July that they debuted. So
that game was nothing. Not saying it was bad, but just like the first year of Pokemon Go was so shallow as a game.
Yeah, but that also made it easier to approach.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Like now, I feel like if somebody's like installing Pokemon Go for the first time, it's like
overwhelming.
Where do I even start?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't even spend any money in Pokemon Go for the first 3 months that game was around.
Yeah, I'm trying to even think of what there was to really spend money on.
Incubators for me. I went to Japan and wanted to hatch a Farfetch'd. And that was the first time I put money into it, because I was like, Farfetch'd could have hatched from the 5K eggs at the time and could only be in that region, right? So that was the first thing that got me to spend money, was trying to hatch a Farfetch'd, which did not happen. I caught one, but I did not hatch one.
I think I put $20 in the first day, and I think I upgraded storage and item space right away, because you could do that.
Okay. Yes. Yep. That'd do it.
2016 me was like, July 2016 me was like, I'm not putting money into this mobile game.
Yeah. Never bought Pokeballs. Incense. You could buy incense.
Mm-hmm.
Incubators. There were no raid passes. I don't even think there were star pieces.
No,
I think star pieces came a couple months later.
Star pieces are still relatively... What?
Not a couple
Star
months
pieces
later.
are still relatively recent.
No.
No, star pieces were in the first year of the game, I think.
No. You guys are it's in the split in the middle. They're not that recent, but they're not that old.
What?
They're like
Lucky
maybe
eggs
2020.
Lucky eggs were day one because people were buying them by the truckload to like get to 40 as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Star pieces.
I would say star pieces were maybe 2020.
No, they were they were before 2020.
Were star pieces around the time that raids came out, which was a year later?
No, they weren't in the very beginning. Star pieces weren't a
We have the entire
early
internet
game
in front
thing.
of us. Someone's got to be able to find when
I think just speculating and wasting time on the podcast is the proper way to do this. No, I think the number is conservative. Like I would imagine that it probably made more than 12 million. I don't think it's, I don't know. I guess I don't know the website reporting, which is @Magic. I don't know if they're normally under or normally over. I don't know what like their history is. I guess it doesn't matter too much, because we will eventually get numbers, and then like a week or even 2 weeks of data doesn't feel legitimate enough because the game is so new. Whereas it's like, okay, this game's been around for 6 months. How is that holding up to Genshin Impact that's been around for a couple of years, or Honkai that's been around for a couple of years, or even Pokemon Go that's been around for 8 years? Like,
right.
Say what you will about Pokemon Go, still makes a lot of money. I think last time I checked, like a week ago, it was the number 8th most grossing app in the App Store. 8 years later.
It also had the whole Gigantamax event recently. It looks like star pieces were introduced at the very, very end of 2017.
Yeah.
2017. So 2017. A year and a half.
Yeah.
Because the game came out summer of 2016.
Yeah.
So a year and a half in. So that's actually older than I thought.
You were closer than I was.
I thought it was.
Yeah, that's definitely older than I thought.
But what was the point of finding that out?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to. We were talking about what you could buy.
How it
items.
Makes money.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Pokemon Go made 143 million in the first year, and there was not a lot to buy, but it still made a ton of money. I would argue there is a lot to buy in Pocket because you're buying your complete collection.
Yeah.
The only reason
there's not a lot in the stores, but you can keep going with the packs.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like when we finished recording the other day, we were talking about whale players. And the way to tell somebody is whaling in this game, I guess for context, a whale player is a player that would put a lot of money into the game. It would be more than like $100. Mm-hmm. It would be a lot. Yeah. But there is like a whale collection in the game, which is that black and white collection, not like the game Black and White, but like the like the black and silver-ish play mat and the coin and the sleeves.
They look
like
really good.
That is like the whale stuff. So if you were against a player that has those sleeves or that coin or the play mat, they have definitely put in way more money than you, most likely.
Not definitely. They could have gotten really, 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 really lucky.
Could have.
3 gold cards. 3 gold cards can get you, 3 of the same gold card can get you that entire set.
Yep.
If you crush it. If you want to crush down 2 of them.
Yeah, so the way to even get that set is
one of them, sorry, yeah.
You can take 400 of the shop tickets and turn that into 1 gold ticket. But the cheapest item you can get is 6 gold. So you would need a lot of shop tickets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that shop tickets are the wrong way to go about that.
Oh,
I think
100%.
That pulling the packs and can you get those items with pack points? Those cards? No?
No, you can't with pack points.
Okay, I hadn't even looked. Then just packs.
You can actually. They're 2,500 pack points for a gold card.
Okay.
Oh, you're saying you use the pack points to get a gold card and then crush the gold card.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see. I don't think that's worth it either.
I think it's more efficient than buying them through the shop.
The shop tickets?
It's 7,500 pack points, right? So you have to get 7,500. Okay, let's just say from the very beginning you don't have any gold cards. The purpose of this is that when you go to obtain Flare with a gold card, if you get the special tickets instead, 1 gold card is worth 64 of those special tickets.
Hold on, we should probably explain crushing.
So, yeah,
since that terminology is not actually used in this app.
True.
So if you have more than 2 of a card, you can then delete any extra cards you have and get it turned into different currency. Or you need multiple versions of that card to add Flare. Mm-hmm. And as of right now, I think the 3 of us agree that Flare isn't that impressive or worth it currently in its current state.
Yeah.
And the more rare your card is, the better currency you get when you crush it, which is ultimately throwing that card away for currency. It's like throwing away your Bulbasaur to Professor Oak, and then you get like 2 Bulbasaur candy. Mm-hmm. Or whatever. Do you just get 1 or 2? I don't even remember in Pokemon Go. I think it's like a chance of 2, but like you always get 1.
What? No, it's a chance of an XL candy or something, right?
Oh, yeah. When
but
you're like throwing away Pokemon in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So if you throw away like an immersive card, which is probably the easiest to understand because there's only 3 immersive cards you could throw away: Charizard, Pikachu, Mewtwo. That would give you 6 gold tickets by throwing that away.
6 special. They're called special tickets or something.
Yeah.
Only 6?
I think it's 6.
Because the gold card is a lot more than that.
The gold card is significantly more rare than immersive, though.
Okay. 12.
But
it gets you 12.
It gets you 12. Okay.
Yeah,
so
and the gold card gets you
64.
64. Yep.
Yeah.
The entire thing you need for that whole collection.
You would have to pull. You couldn't even pull one immersive Mewtwo and crush it. The game doesn't let you do that. You would have to pull 3 immersive Mewtwo's and then throw away one of your immersive Mewtwo's to then buy one item in the whale shop.
Yep.
So the likelihood of you pulling like 3 gold Mewtwo's and then being able to...
I do think that crushing a gold card is the best way to get these items, though.
Oh, I think so too, but I also think if you had a gold card and trading was available, you could trade that for anything you want.
But those are really good items. The fancy set's really nice.
We're going to be up to $13 million in sales next week when Hannah puts $1 million in to crush Mewtwo's for a playmat.
So the point here is you can use pack points to obtain a card, right? So you can hold up to 2,500 pack points at one time.
Yes.
And a gold card costs 2,500 pack points.
Yep.
So, and I believe when you open a pack, you get 5 pack points.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you open a pack, you get 5 pack points. So to get one gold card, if you don't pull it, you'd have to get 2,500 pack points.
Yep.
Now you need to have 3 gold cards in order to turn one into those special event credits. So you'd need 7,500 pack points to then crush one of those gold cards and turn it into this whole special set.
Yeah, it's 500
Lots of money
packs
needs to
to
be
have
spent.
enough pack points.
That's the point.
I wouldn't even I agree with Hannah of the whale items being cool. They look great. They look fantastic. I would never even if I had that, I would never equip them. I would never want to go against another player and they know that I have that like play mat. Because they're just
if I
be
got it based on luck, I absolutely would. If I got it based on buying 1,000
but the
packs,
other player will never know that. They'll just be
Doesn't
like,
matter
"Oh,
to me.
they're a whale."
Doesn't
Because I've
matter to
already
me.
played against whale players.
Steve's not a Rolex wearing guy or a Mercedes driving person. He's not for the flashiness.
When I play,
you don't
Clash
usually
Royale,
get a Mercedes based on luck, except for luck of your birth.
You'd be surprised at how many people have money based on some luck.
When I would play Clash Royale, it was always very obvious of the whale player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think with Pocket, if you have these items, especially this early on in the game, it's going to be very obvious that you probably put some money in, or you, like Hannah said, you opened 4 packs and you pulled 3 immersive Mewtwo's in 4 packs and you've never spent a dime in the game. I don't think that scenario, I guess, statistically it could happen.
I'm aiming for it. I'm really going for it.
But when I would play a Clash Royale player, and I feel like some people will agree with me, and you see the obvious whale player across from you who has the advantage because they put the money in, their units are higher level, I would like sit up straight, get to the edge of my seat, and I'm hyper focused to win this game, because nothing is more satisfying in this world is to defeat the whale player purely based off skill level, which most of the time they don't have. That's why they have to whale to like make up for their skill. And that was more satisfying than like pulling a gold Mewtwo EX, was like crushing them in a battle. But so like I don't want to like roll up in like a casual Apex emblem event and like flip over my whale playmat, even if I got it by luck, because I know the other player is like edge of their seat being like, I'm gonna make sure I beat this guy.
Who is out there, and maybe we'll get comments, who is out there that is spending a ton of money on this game but then battling and playing terribly. Like that.
A lot of people? What do you mean?
No, like unless they're having fun losing, but if I'm losing and not having a good time, I'm not going to keep putting money into the game to continue losing.
Yeah, but the people who want to collect everything and the people who want to win everything are different people sometimes.
Right. So
like
then you're
if
not
they want the entire collection and they're a whale because they're trying to get the entire collection, including the emblems, which means doing the battles.
Yeah.
Then
they're just running Articuno Misty.
Yeah.
Finally. I wanted another 30-minute conversation about Articuno Misty. This is what I woke up for. There are different types of whales, right? Like Apex Legends, I have met people in real life, and I can't believe I met them, where they were like, I have bought every skin for every character. And it would just like, you can be very good at a video game, but like those characters are so different. It would be like really hard for you to be good at like there's like 20 some legends in Apex Legends.
Mm-hmm.
So like and Apex Legends is a free to play game, but like I probably put like $300 into Apex Legends over 5 years, which when you think about it, it's not that bad. But there was a point that I was like, I can't. Why would I ever pay $20 for a skin for a character I'm never going to play? I don't like playing. I'm not good at playing them. I would rather play this character. It's way more fun. So there is the whale that would be like, I just want to collect everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the game of Apex is naturally competitive. Like,
sure. Yes.
Like, and it's kind of the same for Pocket. Like, you could collect everything. And there might be some people that do, but getting the playmat, getting the decks, the sleeves, getting the coin, you have to take that into a competitive nature if you want everything. Because I'm assuming if you want all the cards and you want everything, you probably also want the emblems. Like, you could just stick to the Lapras event, but now you're not getting everything because you're missing out on the emblems. And even if you don't care about the emblems, you probably want all the shine dust as well. I don't know.
I don't know. None of us are whales.
Not with that attitude.
Not yet.
You don't know how much I'm whaling in Pokemon Sleep. I've met people in Pokemon Sleep that were upset. I had to sit at a dinner table with this person for 2 hours. And that was that. It was upsetting to hear them be upset that they couldn't give Pokemon Sleep more money. They were mad that they could not accelerate the game anymore.
I feel like we've all had a conversation where we want to give something money and then for some reason we can't. And we're like, I want to give you money.
We've definitely been confused about how they do it in Pokemon Sleep because they do block it more than makes sense sometimes.
Yeah, like the Ultra Ball stuff. You can only buy 3 Ultra Balls in Pokemon Sleep, and then it doesn't let you buy anymore, which is weird. One, Ultra Balls are probably one of the most overpriced item in any mobile game. It's crazy how expensive they are.
Yeah.
And you're only allowed to buy 3. And there's also still a luck factor to that.
Yeah.
Of like, you're kind of wasting your money even more if the Pokemon isn't hungry.
Yep. And this is the other reason why people may feel kind of weirdly this way about Pokemon Sleep is because the pace of it, you have to wait for the perfect opportunity. The pace of the game is really slow. We were kind of talking about this when Al was on a few weeks ago. Pokemon Sleep is a much slower kind of take it as you go consistent game than Pokemon Go or TCG Pocket or any other Pokemon game I can think of, I think. We were also talking before about how it's much more Animal Crossing-like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like being kind of upset about how slow it feels and not being able to spend money to make it go faster kind of makes sense just because it is a slow game. I'm not going to be that person, but sometimes I'm annoyed at how slow a game it can be.
Yeah, I agreed. Which is why Pocket is perfect, because when I'm annoyed at how slow Sleep is, I open Pocket and I'm no longer annoyed.
I really want to love Pokemon Sleep. I really, really do. The development team has been so good to us, but
yeah,
it's a slow game.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do love Pokemon Sleep. It's just that you play the game differently, right? Like it's just a different way to play a game, and there are aspects to that game where it's more, but the thing is it's more a me thing than it is a Pokemon Sleep thing. If I'm mad that I missed giving Snorlax lunch, I need to think about, like, do I need to be mad about that? That's a me thing, right? That is the Pokemon Sleep thing. The game, for what it is, it just, like you said, it's just a slower game. It's just a different pace. And I think as people who play a lot of different Pokemon games, that's new to people who play Pokemon games, because there haven't been Pokemon games that are like that. I guess you could say like Pokepelago in like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was a slower pace, but it was just a part of that game, right? So
exactly.
When you were done with that slow pace of that, you could go back to the main part of the game and play that. But I mean, I still think they should have a Pokepelago like mobile game. Like Sleep is almost there, but like I feel like they could like
it just needs to be integrated.
Yeah. Just bring me back to Alola is all I'm saying, Pokemon Company.
I think going back to the whale items that exist, the playmat and the card sleeves, I do think in like a year that would be less obvious, because people would have time to naturally get those items by just playing. Or I think reasonably, like, it's pretty unreasonable to expect a person to get 3 of the same gold card in a single week. But in a year, it'd be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense, especially if we don't get a new set. But I think the new sets limit that even more, right? Like if you got 2 gold Mewtwo's, you're not allowed to crush any until you get a third. And now that set is completely gone. It's rotated out. So now you have to try again on the new set to get 3 gold ones, assuming sets are every like 3 months.
I don't think they're going to rotate sets out that often, though. I was just having this conversation the other day. Like, if you go and look at the when you go to open a pack, you can click like open a different kind of pack. But right now, there's only Genetic Apex. So when you open that screen, it's a giant screen, and the Genetic Apex logo is very, very small, and there is a lot of empty space, which leads me to believe that there will be a decent amount of sets like that could come about if this game does continue to stay popular and they do want to continue doing that, where you're able to go back and open cards from older sets. Like if you just look at the screen, it's like, I don't feel like they'd have that much empty space on the screen to fill it with logos of different sets and then remove older sets. Like,
you don't think, hold this thought. Let's take a break. Because this is going to spark another 20-minute conversation. Well, yeah, let's save that for after the break. We'll talk about possible future sets. So we will be right back. And we are back. Okay. The future set thing. Bobby saying they have room for more sets. You don't think they're going to pull Genetic Apex? I almost said generic Apex. That's what I've been calling it. You don't think they're going to pull Genetic Apex to increase the rarity of that stuff to then push trading?
No. I think that the more expansions coming out will in itself create its own rarity in a way, because there will be so many more options, and people, unless you're a whale, or not even just a whale, but unless you're spending more money, like you only have 2 free packs a day, maybe 3 if you're on premium, right? And the addition of more sets is going to create its own type of rarity for those older sets, or because like either someone's going to continue opening the older set, but then they're not going to have any of the new stuff and they're going to want to trade for that potentially, or they're going to start opening newer sets, which is what you see in real life.
Yeah. But
know,
also in real life, it's hard to find certain sets.
So
eventually.
Eventually. I'm not saying that like they're never gonna remove sets but I just don't think that it's gonna be like even in a year. Let's say another 4 sets come out over the next. Let's just say that's what happens over the next year. Let's say, what'd you say?
I said we can only hope.
Yeah. Let's say another 4 sets come out, or 4 or 5 sets. I don't think that they would remove genetic apex in that time frame, and just because literally like the more sets you put out there, it will create its own natural rarity, because people will not open the older set nearly as much, because the newer stuff will either have cards that are going to be more playable in that moment. And so opening an older set's not going to do a whole lot, because the newer stuff is going to be better for competition, or there's just going to add things to it that are maybe make the newer sets seem more fun, or something will happen where the older sets will just not get opened as often.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking in the sense of like a ZZZ or a Pokemon Masters, where like these banners are gone, and if you don't pull on this to get the things in this banner, you have to wait till this banner returns.
But I don't think they're going to cycle them. I don't think they would cycle them like that. They would cycle sets like that. Like, I don't think we're going to get through 4 or 5 sets, they remove genetic apex and bring it back like a year later. I don't think it would work. It would happen in that same way, because you wouldn't, I guess you're bringing it to new people, but all these people who are buying these cards and getting these collections, and the whole point is to collect all the cards, probably you're not going to have a big hit of coming back to those later when you return for something like a set of cards.
Unless you want to crush 3 Mewtwo's. Like, I think there's a value in the, maybe I could be wrong, and it's probably not perceived correctly because everyone is playing right now. But I would imagine if somebody just starts playing in December, they have no opportunity to get that Mankey promo.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to trade for it. So it does feel like they're, at least right now, and maybe when this podcast comes up, because we're recording early, none of this will matter. But it does feel like right now the promos are something you want to stock up on.
Yeah.
Because they are going to go away, and then that would be good for trading. But I do think that maybe in 6 months or a year, there will be a set like a Prismatic Eevee, which has a time limit on it. And maybe it's not as big as Genetic Apex. But I can't imagine this game's life cycle is just going to be, we keep adding sets and we don't pull any.
In TCG Live, or not, maybe not in live, but when TCG Online was a thing, you could buy
every
sets.
Day.
We were deep into the Sword and Shield era, and you could buy but you could use like the credits that you get for logging in, the coins, to buy Sun and Moon sets.
Yeah.
In that time frame, right? Like I feel like there could be a way
you can get black and white sets.
Yeah.
Those came back on like a limited rotation.
The black and white. Oh, they came back on a limited rotation.
Yeah, because there was still I don't know what they call it, legacy format. I think that's what Magic calls it. There was still a legacy format, and people would freak out if like Boundaries Cross came back. I think it was Boundaries Cross. I don't remember. But like I had dozens of black and white unopened booster packs, and because you couldn't go into the store to actively buy them with your coins, which was like a fake currency anyways, you couldn't buy coins, you could only earn coins from like logging in or whatever, I could trade for like almost anything I wanted, because those, you could go back to Sun and Moon. I think you could go back as far as Standard was. So there's like a couple questions here. It's like, are they going to rotate?
Right.
Are they going to have special sets that like, hey, only this month this set will be available and we're pulling it, and maybe it'll come back in the future, which is a very, very Pokemon thing that's like not exclusive to Pocket or other gacha games. It's just a Pokemon thing that they like to do. And is the non-competitive but this game will definitely be competitive future going to have a set rotation. And if there's a set rotation, what does that do to genetic apex? Because that would ideally be the first thing that rotates.
Yeah. I guess my thought is that I'm not saying that they would like, let's say this game is incredibly successful and 7 years down the line, we have 32 sets of cards. I don't think they would have all 32 available to like pull from at that time. Like, I do think that things could go away. They could come back, but I don't think they'd come back in a way that would be like what's trying to bring people back into it. Like, I don't think they'd be like, you missed genetic apex the first time and it's like 2 years down the line, here it is again. Like,
genetic apex base set 2.
Yeah.
They bring it back. Yeah. They put a little 2 on it.
Yeah. I don't think that would happen. Like, they might make things go away at some point in the future. Maybe they bring them back just because they can. But for now, like, what we're talking about, how this all started was like over the next year that, you know, getting that special set would be easier because like genetic apex will be around, unless it's not. I don't think it's not going to be around in a year. I think they're going to keep that set there. And then as new sets come out, they're just going to keep them there for a while. Now, I don't know what a while is because I don't even think they know what a while is at this point in time. Right. Like,
I don't.
So, but I don't think the sets are going anywhere anytime soon for sure. And I know the question had come up earlier this week in like a Slack conversation or something about like the pack points, because the pack points are only set specific. So like all the pack points that we have
realize that
are for genetic apex.
Interesting.
That's my understanding of it. And they're set specific. So people are like, I want to save the pack points, but I don't want genetic apex to go away. And then I've not done anything with those pack points. And the idea is like, for one, I think they would definitely tell us if a set's going to go away. I don't think we wake up one morning and the set's just gone. But I really don't think that they're going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think they're going to be around. And again, just
it actually
the addition,
says in the about pack points, it says if the availability period for a given booster pack ends, its pack points will no longer be available for exchange.
Yeah. So I think they have to put that in there because that's like potentially going to happen at some point. But I really do think the addition of different sets is going to create almost a natural rarity for some of the cards that are older, because people will want to focus on the new sets as they come out because, ooh, they're new, they're fun, they're shiny, right? Like, and then they will not be using their 2 free packs to get genetic apex when they could have prismatic evolution something in 6 months.
Either of you two used your pack points for anything?
Yeah.
Yes. You're gonna hate me.
Did you use it for a Marowak?
Articuno?
Misty.
Oh.
I wanted to see what this deck was about. I wanted to see what was going on.
You didn't do like the full art Misty.
No. That's I don't
just
even
like
have
a regular
pack
Misty.
For that. Just the regular
I did
trainer.
I've primarily opened on Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Because Mewtwo has Mewtwo and has Venusaur, has a couple other cards.
Yep.
But I never got Gardevoir. So I pack pointed for 2 Gardevoirs because I had literally everything for the deck except Gardevoir.
Yeah.
And like I guess Mewtwo would be technically harder to get than Gardevoir. Statistically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gardevoir is expensive
for EX card.
It was 150 for Gardevoir.
70 per. Right?
150 per Gardevoir.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
What did you pack point, Hannah?
Really silly small things. No,
just to like fill out your deck, or just things you're missing?
To fill out my deck, cards that I wanted. Like my very first Pokemon card was a Horsey card, so I wanted some of those. I have been getting the metal, that's what it's called in this game, right?
Yeah,
metal type. To fill out the missions for the premium while I have the 1 week free premium, all of that.
So pack points work towards missions.
Yeah.
Like, because you got the card.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So really silly small things.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're there for.
I can't believe we've like spent 3 hours talking about Pocket in the last like 3 weeks, and we didn't bring up the bent card theory.
Oh no.
Oh, because that was like a theory for a minute, but
people still think it. I want to talk about it real quick.
All right.
So when I sat with the developers in New York, one of the questions said, is there any sort of pity system at all? Like, does the game realize that you've pulled 199 cards out of 200 cards and it's going to like boost the last card, or is it going to give you? And they strictly said no. They're like, the rates that you open are 100% accurate. There is no pity. The rates do not change at all. And from a legal standpoint, they need to exist because of European laws. That it's not actually American laws or Japanese laws. It's the European laws exist for those rates. So when you go to open up Genetic Apex Mewtwo, you can see your exact chance for Mewtwo, your exact chance for Sabrina, your exact chance for Venusaur EX. You can see all those rates. That huge carousel of cards where sometimes one is randomly backwards, sometimes one is like slightly bent, it's a complete illusion. Like those packs don't have different rates, because if they did, they would have to be disclosed.
Yeah.
Now, some people were like, well, there's a message that says like the packs are different depending, because when you hit the little info, all that message is saying is that there's a 1 in 2,000 chance for a god pack, and then everything else is just a regular pack that has regular odds. I think it's like 0.005%, which I think is 1 in 2,000. Hannah would know. She got multiple god packs.
I got one singular, and that's the most exciting pack I've had.
It was just so good with 2 Articuno EXs. Actually, I'm surprised Hannah's not playing Misty.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten a single Misty yet. Maybe by the time this episode's up.
So there are god packs. The game confirms there are god packs. They tell you what the odds of a god pack are. And they tell you the odds of every pack. They even tell you the odds of what your odd of getting gold Mewtwo in the 5th slot, or getting gold Mewtwo in the 4th slot, or getting gold Mewtwo. I actually don't know if you can get in the 3rd slot. If you can, it would tell you. Well, the god pack would, I guess, technically.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
The god pack.
True. Yeah.
So it's just an illusion of choice. Unfortunately, you just compare it to gambling, where they put a bunch of machines. They all and while there are different win conditions, right? Like somebody's played this machine, so it's closer to the win condition than the machine sitting next to it. One, there is no win condition in this; it's just percentages. But 2, there are just people who feel like that machine is their machine. So there are definitely people that feel like, if I see a backwards pack, that is the pack I need to open. Or if I see a pack that is slightly bent, that is the pack I have to open. And that's
a real Pokemon card thing, by the way. Like, people go to the store and they'll be like, oh, that box is damaged. I'm gonna get that one because the damaged box is like the lucky, right? It's superstition, right? It's superstition.
Yeah.
It's luck. That happens all over, obviously, but that is all it is here in Pocket as well.
And it's just really smart. Like,
yeah,
it is really smart to feed into people's superstition, because they're more likely, because they feel better about it. Like, if they think the pack is more likely to have better cards because it's bent, they're going to spend more time looking for the bent packs. And then when they get validated on that feeling of like, I did get something good, they're going to like talk about it. They're going to tell other people. It's literally just gambling culture. That's all it is. It's just like your grandma coming with her stroller being like, this is my lucky machine. I've won here multiple times. And it's like, well, grandma loves this machine, so I'm going to play at this machine too. Like,
I love how you said her stroller. You mean a walker?
Yeah, sorry, her walker. She could have a stroller, her cane.
Yeah, it's possible.
And if that's like, I like opening the backwards packs,
same.
just because I think they're fun. But like,
it also reminded me that you could turn a pack around, which I had completely forgotten by the time the game came out.
Yeah, that is fun.
But like, I know that it's not like statistically better.
I'm pretty sure my god pack came from a backwards pack, and that may have influenced how I feel about them as well.
You confirmed here. The backwards packs are better than the bent packs. You heard it here first. Last bit of news. It's not really a bunch of news here. One, there was like a small DMAX event in Yokohama that they just randomly did. It was just like Squirtle, Bulbasaur. It was just the starter Pokemon. And they shot a giant laser up into the sky to make it look like a raid. And then they just had like a giant iPhone in front of the giant laser they were shooting up in the sky. That was just like a 1-day event in Yokohama that they just did randomly.
Which I guess
is all right.
Yeah,
Japan gets
cool.
everything.
That's all you need. But the other Pokemon Go news is this was in the recent update that was pushed. So I guess you could say this was the data mine. I do want to bring this up because, one, by the time this podcast goes up, this would actually probably be proper news. Also, hey, I didn't data mine it. It's all over social media, so we report on what's there. Niantic is going to be eventually, don't know when this is happening. Again, we're recording this podcast a couple weeks early. They're adding max mushrooms to the game, which we are one step closer to max soup. We are almost
and again, it's going to cost like $10 for max soup because these items.
So currently what the game is saying is max mushrooms were used, your attacks are boosted. You can try this item for 5 minutes. It will normally last for 30 minutes. It will double the attack power of your Pokemon in max raids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now in Sword and Shield, you would collect max mushrooms, and then you would take those max mushrooms to the cafeteria or the like little kitchen, and then you would give them max mushrooms, and then that would be what was used to make max soup. There's no max soup here, of course, but max mushrooms are a big part of the Gigantamax feature, and ideally soup would be the next logical conclusion. But it also sounds like if you don't have 40 people, what if some of you paid for these mushrooms to then do more damage, to then not need 40 people?
Selling the solution.
Yep.
I don't know if like that was like the long-term thing of that, but
it doesn't feel great.
It's also not officially out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
I think we kind of have to hold those opinions on that until it's officially out. On like, it doesn't feel great, but it's not all out there yet.
Yeah, it's not all out there yet. I'm curious if it'll apply to the entire team or just the one person who's using it. I'm curious if party power stuff will interact with it, like being in a party with someone will let you share it.
I'm also curious if this will also, you could use it to boost your attack, but also you could use it for max soup.
Yeah.
Like Stardust,
eventually.
you can use it to trade, or you can use it to power up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like I could
having these items and being able to help people that way could feel so good, but also money.
Yeah. No, I think the money thing is completely valid, but like the money thing isn't new, right? You can pay for a lucky egg and you can get more experience. So in my head, if somebody in a group is willing to pay for max mushrooms and you're saying we can get Dynamax Landorus, I'm assuming legendaries will be able to Dynamax one day. If we can get Dynamax Landorus done half as fast because somebody's willing to pay, and we can do more Landorus in the day, which is ultimately more fun, which is more shiny checks, which is just more Landoruses in general, which I don't really see that different of I'm just going to buy a lucky egg to get more experience. So if it does work in a group setting of like, hey, me, Bobby, Hannah, and Will are going to grind out Landorus in Dynamax raids, and we know that we can get it done in 3 minutes, but if I buy max mushrooms, we can get it done in 2 minutes. That kind of seems like a win, and it's not really that different than Lucky Egg.
Yeah.
Because you could do one Landorus, or you could do two Landorus, or you could pop a Lucky Egg and do one. Well, it would be 2 to 3. No, Lucky Egg is double.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Stardust is 1.5.
Yeah.
Would I buy this? I would probably buy it for like a wild area or for a Go Fest.
Yeah, for a group setting with friends, I like being able to help people, and so I feel like I could see myself doing that.
Yeah. But again, we don't know exactly when that's coming, but I think I just wanted to bring it up because I do feel like it is one step closer to Soup, and I think Soup would alleviate a lot of people's issues with the system.
Yes.
So
agreed.
One step closer to Soup. All right. We will be back next week. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Hannah. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff we missed. Again, these were recorded early, so if there was any crazy breaking news, you'll have to wait, but we could continue talking about Pocket. I still have so much to say about Pocket, but good timing on that, I suppose. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super planning to crush those gold Mewtwo's, I promise, eventually. Once I just need more.